All right, I'm excited for this one for you guys today. So I'm watching the Monday Night Football game the other night, and you got John Gruden talking about Carson Wentz being country strong. And I thought, you know what, this is a great idea for a video series for you guys. How do you get country strong, and what does that mean? So I came over to work, talked to Justin, and Justin's like, dude, I have just the right series for these people to describe exactly what country strong is. So check out these movements.
Okay, first we're going to get into a farmer walk. So I'm going to go ahead and do everything both loaded on left and right arm here to start. We'll get into unilateral after this.
So pay attention to Justin's posture as he starts to do this. You notice he retracted his shoulders and then depressed. And he's standing up tall and straight, spine's nice and aligned. Sets them both down. Now he's going to rack them, so we're front loaded. Requires a little bit more core to stabilize this. You can't see it, but he's squeezing his glutes as he's walking forward so he doesn't stick his butt out, which most people will tend to do. So keep the glutes squeezed, front rack position, core's tight. Then he's going to press over his head. Same thing again. As soon as he pressed over his head, tall and straight, activates those glutes so the glutes stay squeezed and tight to help support him while he walks slow and controlled. Notice his arms are in line with his ears, keeping them nice and stable. Then unrack.
Then I'll go ahead and just do the unilateral version. So basically, I'm getting into a suitcase carry.
So unilateral load means we're loading it on one side. So he's going to hold the kettlebell on one side. Requires him also to stabilize with his core as he carries the suitcase. So a little bit more challenging than suitcase carry. Same idea though. Just front loaded rack position, core stays tight, glutes engaged the entire time.
And the last one is just overhead.
And then we go to an overhead position, arms locked all the way out straight, arms in line with the ears, core is tight, probably one of the more challenging one of all the movements.
Okay, and the reason why I picked the carries is because with work capacity, what we're trying to do is increase that motor. So a greater work capacity means now when I take that and apply it to any kind of a skill, whether it's a strength skill, an endurance skill, anything in between, now if I have greater work towards that specific skill, I'm going to be more proficient in it for a longer period of time. So a little bit different than cardio necessarily, but what we're trying to do is get that grinding strength, that grit, that endurance to endure against external forces, kind of getting in your way. So
how would you implement these into your workouts?
So what I would do is add it as a frequency builder. So something that I could do, if that was my goal, was to be more athletic, for maintain these skills and these very specific movement patterns going into a game or a competition. I'm going to want to add these as frequency builders in between my foundational days. So that way I'm really putting emphasis on building up that gas tank and getting more to pull from when I go to promote more intensified explosive movements.
So is this something that we want to do to failure and fatigue, or are you doing this before, or is this a whole workout in itself?
So this is more on its own, much like what we call trigger sessions, but now what we're focusing on is something a little bit different. What you would consider like an active recovery day as an athlete for a period of time. I want to work on just specifically adding more frequency and volume at a low to moderate intensity. So that way now my body's responding to this excess of load, but I'm able to endure it longer when I get into the actual competition or whatever event that you're doing. So thanks for joining us here. Mind Pump, stay tuned for more videos like this about work capacity.